Wow. Iffy, shady judges, scorecards. I'm not gonna lie, right? It's those types of fights where it's not like you're not looking at any one of them like, oh, that's a clear robbery, right? But I know there's a lot of people that judge scorecards and look at fights in different ways. So this is one of those cards that, to me, for MMA fans, for hardcore MMA fans, was a treat to watch because there was nothing but high level MMA on display the whole night, right? Whether it was grappling, striking, and just the fighter's heart and will, like it was on display throughout most of all the main cards and even down to the prelims, right? So it was a great night of fighting, and if you didn't like it, if you thought like, oh, it was kind of like not as fun to watch as other fight cards, you're probably not as big of an MMA fans as you think you are, right? Because to be honest, like I enjoy these types of fights. To me, it's like I don't need to see a KO or a big submission or the biggest of crazy a brawl or war to be entertained by the fights. I love the technicality behind all of it. I love to see the blood, hard sweat. I love to see the fatigueness in a fighter and how he deals with it and how he comes back from it. Like those are all parts of fighting that I truly enjoy. And if we go back, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right? I had predicted Dolidze to win. I had predicted Gunnar Nelson to win. I had predicted Fiziev and Leon to win. So I was right on 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4 predictions. And I've said this before. It's MMA is probably the hardest sport to predict for because you just don't know what's gonna happen. You really don't know. Marvin Vittori versus Roman Dolidze. To be honest, I thought Dolidze had done enough. I thought he won all 3 rounds, clearly 1 and 3. I thought the second round was, it was close and probably the judges was going to give it to Marvin Vittori, but I thought it was still debatable that Dolidze had won it. But the thing that happens a lot is when a judge gives a round 1 to a specific fighter, when we go into round 2 and it's a close round, they tend to give it to the other fighter just because it makes it a bit, I don't know, it's just the way I see it, and it's the way it's been presented. Even in the co-main event, I'll make a specific video and singular video on these two, Justin Gaethje and Fiziev. I see a lot of judges, or I think that's how a lot of judges just subconsciously judges fights, right? They see a close first round, but clear for one guy, and then they're like, oh, the second round was close, but still, again, probably one dude edged it out, but I gave the first round to the one guy, so let me give it to the other one. You know what I mean? So I thought they were going to give Marvin Vittori the second round for that reason, but ultimately he landed a lot of great leg kicks and a lot of his other fights against Robert Whittaker and Israel Adesanya. He didn't show that great of a head movement and that striking defense. It showed that he has been working on it a lot, not just the kicks, but also, like I said, striking defense was well, good head movement. But ultimately, I truly thought Roman Dolidze had done a little bit more in terms of pushing the pace, controlling the octagon, damage as well, body and face. Yeah, but it was close. I'm not going to call any robbery. My opinion, Dolidze had done enough to win. I would have gave it 30-27 or 29-28. That's why when I heard 30-27 for Vittori, one of the judges gave all 3 rounds to Vittori. I thought that was a bit extra. I thought that was a bit extra. Moving on to Gunnar Nelson and Bryan Barberena. I mean, look, Gunnar Nelson is way better than I thought he was, and I guess this was a lot of the focal point of tonight's event was, I didn't know these dudes were as good as they were. I really didn't. Like, Gunnar Nelson was good, was great. He had great performances before, but this was a dominating performance he had against Bryan Barberena. And I said in the prediction video that I didn't think he was that submission-oriented. I thought he was just going to hold and keep him on the ground. Instead, he was very aggressive trying to find the submission, and he did early on. So, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. I'll just say this. I thought Fiziev won the fight. I'll do a specific and singular video on these two because there's a lot to talk about. But it's another one of these decisions that I'm like, it was a fun fight, just like any of Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev fight, as expected, right? It is what it is. Moving on, Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. This is the main focal point, right? That's what I want to talk about it more. And I think the most important point that I wanted to bring about Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman is when I did the prediction video and I predicted Leon Edwards to win, I could feel it inside of my head and inside of my heart that it was mostly more like hopeful prediction, wishful thinkings, right? And I've said this before, this is a biased channel. I have some favorites, and I guess I lean towards, like, I didn't have a favorite in the main event, but I just thought the storyline of Leon Edwards was just gonna propel itself way better if he won that that third fight. And I thought it was just Leon Edwards' time. It was his moment. It was his reign as a champion, and Usman had done a tremendous job, and he was dominant for so long, but I didn't think it was his time anymore, right? So it was mostly just I wished that Leon Edwards was going to do that, but did I actually anticipate Leon Edwards to win on a judge's scorecards? Nah, I didn't expect that at all. Leon Edwards surprised me, and like I didn't know he was this good. I didn't know he was going to be able to like actually remain composed under all those takedowns and get back to his feet as well as he did, get off the fence as much as he did. It's like Usman tried to shoot for takedowns many times, right? He just couldn't do it. Leon was just very fluid and very, very smooth. There was also this great quote from Teddy Atlas at the beginning of the fight, and he said something like, becoming champion just gives you an extra 30%. It gives you a 30% boost, and you just become 30% better. And I thought, at the beginning I saw it, it's like, yeah, of course, that's what you say, but it actually proven to be right? Because when you look at the other fights between Edwards and Usman, if we're being honest, right, Edwards had, I don't want to say lucky kick, but it was one great shot. But other than that, for the most part, it was Usman dominating. And Usman could not do that. He couldn't dominate the way he did in the first fight. In the second fight, he just couldn't. It wasn't the same fight. It wasn't the same fighter. It wasn't the same Leon Edwards. It was completely different. And I don't know if it's all the factors like the altitude or just Edwards actually is 30% better now because he's a champion, but it was a completely different fight. And I'm glad that Leon Edwards wins because I've said this before. I think it's his reign. It's his time. And if he would have lost today, I think it would have taken a lot of shine from that from that KO that he had against Usman. I thought, I didn't want that to happen. I thought it was Leon Edwards' reign, and I'm glad that he won that fight because it was just beautiful, right? But if we talk about judging, right? I to be honest with you, I've missed a part of the fifth round because of the streaming stuff. I try to rewatch it. I rewatched the whole fifth round. It was just a difficult fight to watch. It was a difficult fight to judge, and with the point deduction as well, it's like it's difficult. When you look at the judges' scorecard, they showed the judges' scorecard at the end. It was all over the place. It wasn't really clear. I thought the first round was clear for Leon. The second round was, I thought Leon controlled most of the fight, but Usman had some great right hands that landed and kind of stumbled Leon as well. And Leon tried to shoot for a takedown in the second round, which was kind of weird. I thought, to me, that was a sign that he was hurt, right? In the second round, Leon shooting for a takedown, not even like from the clinch or anything, from the outside shooting is weird, right? So watching it, I thought Usman won the second round. The third round was just weird, like a lot of like weird fouls that happened. Obviously, the fence grab, the nut shot, what was it? The eye poke. I think there was an eye poke in there. So he got a point taken away, but I don't really know who won that third round. It was like all over the place. The fourth round, I thought Edwards did great damage, and fifth round as well. So to be honest, I don't know. I was expecting a draw, to be honest. It was a very difficult fight to judge. I'll tell you that much. But I think both guys deserved it. And Leon Edwards showed tremendous improvement from the second fight. So that's why on top of it, it's like I thought he deserved it even more. The improvement that he showed from the second to the third fight. Also, the point deduction was a big factor as well, right? Because if the point deduction was not taken away, I thought Leon Edwards was well on his way to a victory as well. It would have been even clearer for Leon, in my opinion, right? Going forward, I thought that's what made sense, right? If they fought again, probably a lot of people would favor Leon Edwards in the fight, and you could clearly see it. It wasn't just a fluke now. It wasn't just a lucky kick. It was a clear improvement. So yeah, I think most people kind of knew inside of their head or inside of their heart that Kamaru Usman was probably the better fighter. And tonight, we were proven wrong. We were proven that it was a coin toss between these two right now. And as time goes by, Leon Edwards has showed tremendous improvement, while Kamaru Usman showed a bit of a regression. So I thought Leon Edwards is the rightful champion, and he stamped his name as a well-deserved champion in the 170-pound division.